want to put up a post here on X, courtesy of the New York Post, which they say that top Secret Service officials were aware of, quote, classified threat 10 days before Butler assassination attempt and failed to tell agents, law enforcement guarding Trump. This goes back to that breakdown in communication, which has been top of mind throughout the investigation. But how do Secret Service officials kind of become aware of these threats? What is the chain that it goes through to make sure that it is a credible threat?
Yeah, this is a very disappointing statement here. And when I heard it yesterday, it's very troubling. Look, the agents who are on the ground doing the work rely on not only liaison with local police and state police departments, they rely on intelligence from various agencies, to include the Secret Service, to include the FBI, to include the CIA. All of those agencies, again, after 9/11, have been tasked with working together. We really didn't work together before 9/11. That was one of the problems there. We've come a long way in the last 24 years, but to hear that information wasn't passed to where it needed to be passed to. Information's nice, but if you can't get it to the customer who needs it, it really doesn't do you any good. So very troubling that somewhere in this chain here, information didn't get to where it needs to get to. I think that needs to be investigated, and we need to figure out why that happened, how it happened, who was involved, and we need to make sure that that certainly doesn't happen moving forward.
And that investigation is still ongoing even a year later. Bobby, we really appreciate all of the insight and kind of the background that you've been able to give, specifically with this angle and security for the president and even presidential candidates. Is there anything that you feel maybe people haven't talked about enough, specifically having to do with Secret Service, their tasks with this security, and also what happened in Butler a year ago?
Well, this was a very difficult day for the Secret Service, obviously for President Trump sustaining that injury. It was very difficult for the agents that were around his detail. Also very difficult for the agents who didn't perform very well that day. But we also have to make sure that we don't forget Mr. Compatore, who lost his life that day based upon the actions of the agents there, not putting in a good protective plan. So we can't forget him and the other two individuals who were shot. The Secret Service works hard every day. Terrific people there. Who go out and work hard. They're away from their families, nights, weekends, holidays, missing anniversaries, and things of that nature. They go out and work hard every day. They need to continue to go out and work hard every day, make sure all the I's are dotted and T's are crossed, and give the protectees of the Secret Service the very best protective apparatus that they can put together.
And of course, important to remember that even though the president did get out alive, it was a deadly shooting that went down there in Butler. Bobby McDonald, a former Secret Service agent, we appreciate your time here at Live Now from Fox. Thank you for joining.